You know what? I'm gonna try and do the mad thing and shoot in 4K 60 and just see what can be done. Because my last Mac didn't support like 4K 60 or whatever it was, ProRes or whatever. But I want to get this into CapCut and see what I go on. Hi, I'm Khalid. If you've never been to this channel before, you've just discovered it. Welcome. But I've been making like beat making videos over the years and loads of different things, talking head videos, charting my journey to like being less self-conscious about speaking about what I do. In that time, I've built this YouTube channel from like zero subscribers to I think I'm at 582 at the moment. And I'm really careful with the type of videos I put on there because I found that when I was doing too much of these yappy videos, I was losing subscribers. I've also noticed the trend as well. Like when I load up, when I schedule a machine video to go out, the machine video won't get any love. But you do a video using the Akai, bare love. Ableton push free, minimal love. Like there's loads of different things. So what I've been doing is experimenting with my uploads and whatnot, and seeing like what's driving the needle forward. I still got love for my machine. That is the bread and butter. Been with them for time. And I did read the article about them going into like not liquidation, but having a possible restructuring of services. Since then, the CEO has come out and said rare, which I'm very happy for. As long as I have support for the Machine Plus, and the expansions that I've got, because I've got plenty over like 16 years worth of expansions and investment into this ecosystem. So I'd love to see it continue. And also I've got a Tractor S2 Mark II, but I digress on that. But yeah, I've been noticing for a time that anything machine based, I don't really see a lot of traction in my videos, but I don't create these beat making videos for the love of that. Recently, well, around November, I purchased FL Studio, and that's where pretty much I started like my music production journey as well. You know what I'm saying? FL Studio, Music 2000. Someone on Reddit, I forgot the username of the person, but they had sent me like bare of these sample packs to download. I still got to research what a sound font is. I don't know what that is, but I need to research what it is so I can effectively like install and use those. But they, in amongst all of the downloads in this Reddit channel, was like the Music 2000 downloads. The reason why that's so pivotal because that's where I actually started making beats from. So nowadays I use the Akai MPC Live 2, the Ableton Push Free Standalone, integrated with Ableton 12. I use with the Akai, I integrated with MPC 3, which is now on a desktop. With the machine, I integrate it with Machine 3, but I can't lie, like I think Machine 2 is definitely more superior. Yeah, I got Machine 3 to try out the stem separation, but I think out of all of the apps, right, or all of the doors that offer that feature, the best one is Logic and Ableton. There's something about those engines that it just gets it quick. With Machine, it takes quite long, and it stores it within a channel. But like I said, I've done it once to test it out, but I don't really use Machine for that. That's not in that workflow. But with Akai, when I done the stem separation in MPC Beats, it was long, like swear, it was so long. It was so long. So for me, if I'm using stem separation, I'm going into Logic and I'm going into Ableton. I've really been loving the Ableton workflow as of recent, and it's like, I don't know, for some reason the sounds, the texture of everything, it's just chef's kiss. It has that thing about it. And also I feel like my drum beats bang better or I'm more experimental because maybe it might be like a lot of the synth sounds are like basic and then you kind of tweak them into something. But that's the magic of the Ableton setup. And then Logic, obviously I stay true to that. I've been running Logic for my podcast and any vocals. It just has that flow. Whereas I think when I'm working with vocals in Ableton, it's like you have to then come out of the workflow of doing the clips and work in the kind of arranger view. And I guess if I'm recording vocals in the arranger view, but then I want to go back into the clips, the two kind of don't coincide. You would have seen a video from time ago where I submitted, well, if you're new here, you wouldn't have seen that. But ultimately, I submitted a remix for the DEE and North Face Coldest collaboration. However, I managed to submit 30 seconds after the deadline. But in that video, I was working and mixed a whole track in Ableton. The thing I used to mix it was the was the Lander plugin that I got a few years ago. There's so many things that I've acquired over the years that I haven't used much of yet, but I'm getting round to it. But anyway, I digress. So I utilize also FL Studio, and I've been utilizing Core Gadget. Core Gadget is fun. It keeps you within that box. But have I loaded it up to work on anything like since probably about 2 or 3 videos? The answer's no. I can't lie, the answer's no. It's probably because I can't load up like external plugins yet, but it's a work in progress. With FL Studio, it's just remembering how things go, but I feel like I have to buy a dedicated mouse to get to that. But that's my hobbies, man. I'm all about music production, recording vocals. I think I got to the desk tonight because I've recently launched, yes, I have launched a podcast on Substack because I want to kind of train my brain into monetizing my hobbies. And with Substack, it has many layered paywalls as well. So I want to just really focus my podcast and my writing and poetic talents in that arena. You'll still get the beat making videos because I want to finish off like some form of EP, because I think my last release wasn't beyond either 2022 or 23. It was like the whole era of Miami Lakes and Gravenstraat when I released the EP with the MPC Live and maybe The Machine. So tracks like Salma Hayek, yeah, I can't remember any of the beats, to be honest, but I've made loads in that time. And then there was a period of time that I felt like either making beat making videos and streaming the beat making process was taken away from the music production side. So I kind of tried to slow down the operations of that, but you know, it's all a learn. We're getting to it. But that's my check-in for 2026. I'm going to get back to the beats. I'm going to get back to the podcast. I'm going to get back to making like very interesting reels and videos, because I find that I've found my vibe. And also, from a vlogging point of view, like the camera that I use is a GoPro Hero 11. So I'm still running that. And that is the camera that's up there. That's literally focusing on the desk. I'm doing a screen recording through OBS. And then, is it here? And I've still got my my Insta360 Go. I forgot what it's called. Insta360 Go something. Go 2 or Go 3, right? And what I've been doing with this camera is I've just been recording B-roll. It's small enough to fit in your pocket. So the B-roll can be like time lapses and anything. So I'm trying to find my style with that. And what I'll do is you're going to see like the new style reels that's going to coincide with the podcast episodes of the Where is KO podcast. And I know sometimes it can feel confusing because this YouTube channel is like all of my hobbies and interests in it. So you're being it converges everything. And I know I've lost subscribers like certain times when you just see a random podcast pop up here, but for me, this is a showcase of what I do as a hobby wise. So you see a lot of different things. I'm not just about music production. I'm not just about talking about doors. Like I do have a hobby of creative writing, in reading, you know what I'm saying, in loads of those things. And I think this channel is the anchor that ties it all together. So if you're here, subscribe, comment, like, share, get involved, you know what I'm saying. But that sums it up for me. I think this could be an intro video or trailer for my page, but let's see what happens once I tie it all together and edit it. But anyway, editing wise, I'm still using CapCut, but something tells me I'm going to dive back into Final Cut Pro. The reason why I use CapCut is because I can sync it round across all my devices. But yeah, I want to get more into Logic on the iPad and stuff like that. But if I was to go down the Final Cut route, I'll definitely have to change from an iPad mini into a bigger iPad. But man's not trying to cop no more tech, so I'm going to do with what I've got. So I'm going to stick with CapCut. Anyway, peace.